Let me tell you something most of you have never been told, and it's going to land right in your throat. You do not have a weak voice. You have a suppressed one. There is a difference. Weak means incapable. Suppressed means trained into silence. And most of you watching, especially the spiritual ones, the empaths, the healers, the I don't want conflict souls, you didn't lose your voice. You learned it wasn't safe to use it. Silence isn't natural truth expression. Silence is a learned protection pattern. Watch a child before conditioning. They say what they feel, ask what they want, cry when it hurts, protest when it's unfair. Voice is instinctive. So suppression is taught. And today we are not doing mindset affirmations about confidence. We are reopening the channel between your truth and your throat. Because if your voice is blocked, your boundaries are fantasies. Just let that land. Before we go deeper, if you feel that tightness in your throat right now, that swallow, that oh, damn, she's talking about me, subscribe and hit that notification bell. This space isn't just content. It's recalibration work, voice work, boundary work, identity work. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Cherry. I'm a spiritual life coach, numerologist, and energy body mentor. And my work is about helping people pleasers and spiritually sensitive humans stop abandoning themselves in the name of being loved. Because truth is loving. Silencing yourself is not. And today we're doing guided activation work for your throat chakra and your boundary voice alignment, not just understanding embodiment. Now, I want to lovingly call something out, especially for the spiritual community. Spiritual people block their throat more than anyone. Why? Because you were taught, be compassionate, be understanding, be non-judgmental, be forgiving, be light, be love. And somewhere along the way, that got mistranslated into don't disagree. Don't confront, don't challenge, don't say no, don't upset anyone, don't be direct. That is not enlightenment. That is politeness trauma wearing spiritual language. A closed throat chakra does not make you spiritual. It makes you silent. And silence is not the same as peace. Some of you are not peaceful. You're just muted. Now swallow once in the throat and notice effort or ease. Is your jaw tight or soft? Is your tongue suppressed or relaxed? Your body already knows what your mouth has been holding. And today's session will include somatic release, breath regulation, voice activation, boundary voice training, past moment truth reclamation, and future boundary rehearsal. This is not passive listening. This is participatory activation. So do not just watch this, do this, because your voice does not come back through insight. It comes back through use. So give me a slow inhale and a long exhale through the mouth. Now place your hand on your throat again. We're not starting with mystical language. We're starting with lived reality. Your throat chakra is not just about speaking. It's about permission to exist out loud. Expression, not performance. Truth, not politeness. Congruence, not agreeability. And we need to clean up a distortion right away, because this distortion keeps spiritually minded people stuck for decades. Politeness is not the same as expression. Politeness edits truth to maintain comfort. Expression communicates truth to maintain alignment. Those are not the same goals. Let me say that again. Politeness protects the interaction. Expression protects the self. And if you were trained, especially as a child, to prioritize other people's comfort over your own inner truth, your throat chakra learned to close slightly every time. Honesty would create friction. Not dramatically, not obviously. Just enough. That micro closing, repeated over years, becomes chronic suppression. And then people say, I'm just not good at speaking up. I'm just quiet. I'm just not a communicator. And that's not true. You are a trained suppressor, and training can be reversed. Your voice is not separate from your identity. Voice is identity made audible, which is why voice suppression always creates identity confusion. If you cannot say what you think, state what you feel, name what you need, declare what you choose, you will slowly lose clarity about who you are. Not because your soul is unclear, but because your expression channel is blocked. Identity is not discovered only through reflection. It is discovered through expression. You learn who you are by hearing yourself tell the truth. That's why journaling helps, but that's why speaking helps more. That's why embodied voice work transforms faster than silent insight work. It's a pattern interrupt. You cannot think your way into authenticity. You must speak your way into it. Some of you did not lose your voice through shyness. You lost it through consequence. Times you spoke, you were punished. Times you spoke and you were mocked. Times you spoke and you were dismissed. Times you spoke and you were told you were dramatic, too sensitive, too much, too loud, or too emotional. Your nervous system made a decision. Silence is safer than exposure. And here's the part I want you to say slowly and compassionately. Your intellect was intelligent. It protected you when you had fewer resources and less power. But protective patterns that never update become prison walls. Thank the younger you silently for adapting. Then say out loud, I am safer now than I was then, because safety updates must be spoken, not assumed. Now, the throat center sits between your heart and your mind, which means it is the bridge between what I feel and what I say. When the throat is blocked, two distortions happen. Distortion one is emotional congestion. Feelings stay trapped below expression. Distortion two is mental overcompensation. The overthinking replaces honest speaking. That's why chronic overthinkers often have tight throats and jaws. Energy has to go somewhere, and if it cannot move outward through truth, it spins internally as anxiety. Unspoken truth becomes internal noise. So I'm going to ask you just to notice, not change, just notice. When you want to say something vulnerable, do you swallow first, clear your throat, laugh, add a sorry, soften your tone, look away, add extra explanation? Those are expression signatures, not flaws, signals. Your body waving a small blue flag saying, this feels risky. And today we are not forcing risk. We are building regulation expression. And that is a big difference. Because some of you say, I just don't feel called to speak. I'm just observing. I'm detached. Now, sometimes that is wisdom. Sometimes that is just fear with incense on it. Stillness and silence are sacred when they are chosen. They are not sacred when they are driven by fear of rejection. Peaceful silence feels open. Fear silence feels tight. So check your throat. It will tell you which one you're in. We've named the truth. Next, we train the voice. Let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings in personal growth and spiritual communication work. Not all speaking up is aligned. Not all honesty is regulated. Not all expression is truth. Some expression is just overflow. And if you don't learn the difference, you'll either stay silent forever or start calling emotional discharge authentic voice. And we're not doing either. We are building boundary voice because boundary voice is clean. Triggered voice is loaded. Clean voice communicates. Triggered voice contaminates. So let's define them clearly. A clean boundary voice sounds like, when that happens, it doesn't work for me. I'm not available for that. I need this to change. I'm choosing differently. Short, grounded, and specific. A triggered voice sounds like, you always do this. You never listen. I'm sick of you. This is why nobody can stand you. That is not throat chakra alignment. That is nervous system overflow through the mouth. And listen, no shame, overflow does happen. But overflow is for processing, not boundary setting. Regulation first, expression second. Never reverse the order. So I want you to think of something you're upset about with someone. Now imagine saying it while your heart is racing, your jaw is tight, and your breath is shallow. Feel that in the body. That is charge speaking. Now imagine we've walked, breathed, regulated. And you say the same message slowly. Feel the difference. That is ground speaking. Same truth, different nervous system, different outcome. If your body is shaking, pause the conversation. Not your truth, just your timing. Truth delivered dysregulated gets dismissed. Truth delivered grounded gets heard. A defensive tone rises, speeds up, sharpens, and it can come out like, I said I'm busy, okay? Grounded sounds like, I'm not available. Same message, different authority. And authority is calm. Aggression is urgency plus fear. You do not need volume to have authority. You need regulation. And this is critical for spiritually minded people who fear becoming mean. Authority says, this is my boundary. Aggression says, you're the problem. Authority is self-referenced. Aggression is other-blaming. Authority is steady. Aggression is hot. Authority invites respect. Aggression invites counterattack. Some of you avoid boundaries because you only know two modes: silence or explosion. So now we're going to build the third mode, a calm declaration. And here is a formula because structure builds safety. Here is a boundary voice sentence structure. When X happens, I feel Y. I need or will choose Z. As an example, when meetings run late, I feel overwhelmed. I will be leaving on time. When plans change last minute, it doesn't work for me. I need more notice. When that joke is made, I feel uncomfortable. Please don't use it with me. No character attack, no personality diagnosis, no emotional dumping, just truth plus impact plus direction. So here's a pattern break line. Boundaries are instructions, not accusations. So place one hand on your chest and one hand on your throat and say after me, that doesn't work for me. I'm choosing differently. Please don't speak to me like that. I will not continue this conversation right now. Now, if your throat tightens, good. We're at the edge of the block, not doing it wrong, because edge means activation. Emotional reactivity is not failure. It's information, but it is not a communication strategy. If you explode, repair. If you shut down, reopen. If you overreact, re-speak. But do not pretend reactivity is authenticity. That lie keeps people stuck for years. Truth deserves a regulated messenger. So I want you to inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. And do 3 rounds of that while I continue speaking. We are not just opening your voice, we are stabilizing your voice. So take a slow breath with me before we go further. Again, place your hand on your throat, because now we're not talking about technique. We're talking about fear. Most voice blocks are not skill problems. They are safety problems. People don't stay silent because they don't know words. They stay silent because their nervous system predicts danger. And today we're naming the 4 primary throat blocks I see again and again, especially in spiritually sensitive, empathic, people-pleasing adults. And this is not to shame you or disarm you, because unnamed fear runs the system. Named fear loosens. This one hides behind what's the point. Many of you don't speak because you assume you won't be understood. So you pre-silence. You think they won't get it anyway. I'll just say it wrong. It will come out messy. I won't explain it perfectly. So you wait and wait and wait for the perfect wording, which never comes. So truth never comes. Clarity is built through speaking, not before speaking. Understanding is a 2-person process, not your solo responsibility. Your job is honest expression, not guaranteed interpretation. And I want you to say that out loud. Now, here are some journal prompts. Where have I stayed silent because I demanded perfect wording? Now, this one sits in the chest and throat together. Say, some of you are not afraid of conflict, but you are afraid of disconnection. Because at some point in your early life, disagreement led to emotional distance, withdrawal, coldness, punishment or exclusion. So your system learned. Agreement maintains connection. Truth risks abandonment. That pattern doesn't disappear just because you're now an adult. It must be retrained. So here's a gentle confrontation line. If connection requires self-betrayal, it is not connection, it is compliance. Now notice your chest right now. Is it tight or open? Because that's attachment memory responding. And I want you to say this out loud. I can be real and still be connected. Say it again. I can be real and still be connected. Many spiritually sensitive people were labeled early. Too loud, too emotional, too intense, too dramatic, too sensitive. So they didn't just quiet their voice. They shrank their presence. Being told you were too much did not mean you were wrong. It meant someone else was overwhelmed. And that is not the same thing. Intensity is not danger. Unregulated intensity is. And when we regulate, not erase. So say this again. So say this out loud. My energy is allowed. My emotion is allowed. My voice is allowed. So let me tell the truth here. No spiritual sugarcoating. Many people don't avoid speaking. They avoid response. They don't fear their words. They fear the other person's reaction, which is anger, disappointment, pushback, tears, or withdrawal. So they pre-manage the other person's feelings by silencing themselves. Managing other adults' emotions is not compassion. It is control through self-suppression. Let that land. So here is a confrontation reframe. Confrontation is not an attack. Confrontation is contrast made visible. It is two truths meeting in the open, not violence, but visibility. Now take one slow breath in and one slow exhale. Some people don't speak because they don't trust their perception. They think, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm too sensitive. So they override their internal signal. If you feel impact, you are not wrong about impact. Meaning can be discussed. Impact cannot be denied. You are allowed to name your experience, even if others interpret it differently. Let me say that again. You are allowed to name your experience, even if others interpret it differently. I want you to repeat something for me. I didn't like that. That hurt. I'm not okay with that. No justification allowed. No story allowed. And just tell them. Notice how your system wants to explain. That urge of approval seeking. Truth does not require an essay. If your throat closed for years, it was adaptive, which means you are not broken. You are just patterned. And patterns can be rewired with safety and repetition. So again, place your hand on your throat nice and gently just so you can feel the throat. Slow breathe and say, we are reopening, not forcing. Before we activate the voice, we must release the physical armor around it. Because a tight throat is rarely just energetic. It's muscular, neutral, fascia-based. You cannot affirm your way through a locked jaw and expect your truth to flow. So now we're going to prepare the body. Not aggressively and not forcibly, but with permission. So say with me, nothing we do here is performance. Everything is an invitation. So this is a neck-jaw release sequence. Sit upright but not stiff. Unclench your teeth. Let the tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. And most people don't even realize their tongue is braced all day. That alone suppresses voice tone. Now let the tongue be heavy. Now gently open and close your jaw, slowly, like you're exaggerating a yawn. Do not stretch to pain, just movement. Do 10 slow reps. Count them in your head. Now massage the hinge of the jaw, just in front of the ear. Small circles. This is where unspoken words often park themselves. Just keep circling. So now we're going to move on to neck rolls. Half circles only. Ear towards shoulder. Then forwards. Then the other side. No dropping the head back. Breathe continually. If emotions arise, good. We're thawing, not breaking. Now let's move into a shoulder and collar release. Lift your shoulders to your ear on the inhale and hold. And then drop on the exhale with a sound. Again, inhale to lift. Exhale with the sound to drop. Sound on the exhale teaches the nervous system that voice is safe. Now we regulate the nerve that governs voice safely. Your throat opens when your vagus nerve feels safe. So we tone safely first with a breathing pattern. You inhale through the nose for the count of 4. You exhale through the mouth for the count of 8 with a gentle sound. Longer exhales than inhale. This signals safety. Do this for 6 rounds. We then have the humming activation. Now we bring vibration directly into the throat center. Humming is one of the fastest ways to open the throat safely because vibration reduces guarding. So again, place your hand on your throat and soft hum and with a low pitch. Comfortable, not loud. Repeat that 6 to 8 times. Feel the vibration, not the volume. If your voice cracks, that's release, not failure. Next is the resonance ladder exercise. We now move vibration upward. So you hum low, mid, and then slightly higher pitch. Like a gentle siren, but soft. You do 5 slow ladders. We are teaching your throat range without threat, because range equals permission. The next one is a sounding exercise. We now shift from humming to vowels that opens articulation. Use long vowel tones like ah, e, o, and repeat them over again 5 times. Slow, sustained breath support. These are primal sounds, older than language. They bypass politeness conditioning. Repeat each of these 3 to 4 times with silence in between. And next is a shallow and speak drill. This is an important neuromuscular retraining. So swallow once slowly, then speak a simple truth phrase. I am here. Repeat the cycle 5 times. Swallow and then say, I am here. We are unlinking the swallow silence reflex and linking the swallow expression. This rewires micro patterns. Now, most people try to be more confident, but confidence is not built first. Capacity is built first. So today we are building vocal capacity. Confidence follows capacity. Now speak short boundary phrases softly but grounded. And repeat, no, not today. That doesn't work for me. Volume low, tone steady. How did that feel? Because authority is not loud. Authority is settled. Place your hand on your throat, just 2 fingers gently resting. This touch becomes your anchor gesture. Anytime you need voice steadiness, touch your throat slightly and exhale slowly. And practice the anchor and breath 5 times together. Slow breath. Your throat is more open now than when we began. Not because we're forcing it, because we listened to it. Preparation is complete. And the activation comes next. So now I want you to settle your body. Feet grounded, spine supported, but not rigid. Hands relaxed. If it feels safe, close your eyes. Take 1 slow inhale through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth with sound. And again, inhale through the nose and exhale long through the mouth. Once more. We are now moving from preparation into reclamation. You are not creating a new voice. You are retrieving an original one. Imagine above your head a column of clear blue light, not harsh, not electric, calm, luminous blue, the color of honesty sky, the color of open truth. See this blue light slowly descending, entering through the crown, moving gently down into your throat center. No force, only permission. As it reaches your throat, you may feel warmth, pressure, emotion, or nothing at all. All responses are valid. Energy moves at the speed of safety. Let the blue light gather at the throat like a soft sphere. Continue your breathing. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. With each exhale, the sphere grows clearer because now we're going to open the time bridge. Invite the image, not forced, of someone from your past who made it feel unsafe to speak. A parent, teacher, partner, authority figure, or peer group. Let the first face that arises be enough. Do not analyze, just allow. See them standing several steps in front of you. Not close, not threatening. Just presence. Your adult self is here now, not your child self. Feel your feet to confirm that. You are not going back. You are bringing your voice forward. Now in your mind or softly out loud, speak what has never been allowed to be said, like, that hurt me. I'm scared. I needed support. I disagree. I wasn't wrong. I deserve to be heard. Whichever one fits for you, or come up with one that suits you better. No performance. This is only truth. Now shift from the person to the moment. Let one memory arise where you swallowed your truth. A meeting, an argument, a family moment, a relationship turning point. See the scene, but from your present adult awareness. Watch your past self go silent. Now step into the scene. Beside them, as your current self. Place a hand on their shoulder in the visualization and speak for them, out loud if possible. Short, direct, clean. You could say, this is voice retrieval, not imagination. Your nervous system does not distinguish. I want you to take 5 breaths here. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth with a whispered, ah. Each exhale, imagine dust clearing from the throat center. The old silence is leaving. Now turn awareness forward. See yourself in a near future moment. where you would normally stay quiet. Someone asks too much. Someone crosses a line. Someone assumes your yes. Watch it unfold. But this time you pause, you breathe, you touch your throat anchor point, and you speak clearly. Hear your future voice. Steady, grounded, simple. I'm not available for that. That doesn't work for me. No. Choose whichever phrase suits you best. Repeat the future scene 3 times, faster each time, building neutral familiarity. The nervous system trusts what it rehearses. Return your attention now to the blue light at the throat. See it now spinning slowly, widening like a halo ring of blue sound. With each breath, it expands beyond the body, about an arm's width. Your truth is no longer trapped inside you. It is fielded around you. Now repeat after me with a breath in between. My voice is safe. My truth is allowed. My needs are valid. My no is sacred. My yes is chosen. I do not disappear to belong. Now bring your awareness back into the space where you are. Feel your feet on the floor, your hands. Hear the sounds in the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes and roll your shoulders. Open your eyes. You're now activated, completed, integrated, and it begins. And I want to end this video with this. So take a slow breath with me before we seal this work. Inhale through the nose, and again a long exhale through the mouth with sound. Again, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth with sound. Activation without integration becomes inspiration. Integration creates transformation. Today was not about feeling something once. It was about changing how you use your voice daily. So now we make it practical, repeatable, embodied. This is your daily practice for the next 7 days minimum. Stand in front of a mirror. Look directly into your own eyes. Not your hair, not your face, your actual eyes. Place one hand on your throat and one hand on your chest. And you speak truth statements out loud. Not silently, not mentally, but out loud, because the throat opens through vibration, not intention. You could say, I am allowed to speak, or my truth matters. I hear myself. I do not silence myself to stay light. If emotion comes, do not stop. That is thawing, not failure. Tears are often frozen voice melting. Tears are often the frozen voice melting. So stay with it. I'd like you to choose one boundary sentence that feels the strongest for you. So the first one is, that doesn't work for me, or I'm not available. I need something different, or just say no. Repeat them 10 times slowly, 10 times normally, 10 times at a whisper, and 10 times as a grounded voice. Range repetition teaches the nervous system flexibility under truth. This prevents freeze response when it matters. Repetition is not robotic. It is rewiring. Those are your voice anchors. Use it before difficult conversations, before saying no, before correcting someone else, or before expressing a need. Let's practice 5 reps together now. You touch, you exhale, and then you say, I'm here. Touch, exhale, I'm here. Truth without action becomes spiritual entertainment. So here is your 72-hour voice challenge. Within the next 3 days, you must speak one truth you would normally swallow. One only, not dramatic, not explosive, just clean. So you could correct something, decline something, name a preference, state a limit, or express a need. Small truths equals done clean is worth more than big truths which are never spoken. Now, do you accept the challenge? Because if you do, say it out loud now. I accept the challenge. If your voice has been suppressed for years, progress may feel slow. That is not weakness, that is healing speed. We do not rip open the throat. We invite it to open. There is no self-judgment allowed in this work, only self-return. Place your hand back on your throat and say, I am coming back. Feel how that feels in your throat now, compared to how it did the very first time you put your hand on your throat to speak. Now, if you felt something unlocked today, don't leave it unsupported. Voice and boundary work deepens faster with structure and guidance. This is exactly what we build inside my boundary building strategy sessions, where we map your voice blocks, your boundary gaps, and your nervous system patterns, and create a personalized voice and limit framework that fits your life and your relationships. It's a 30-minute free call to see if we're a right fit. If you're ready to stop swallowing the truth and start living it, book that session. The link is below in the description box. Now, before we close, if this activation supported you, I would love for you to subscribe and tap the notification bell. This channel is a space for spiritual embodiment, boundary mastery, numerology insight, and truth-led transformation. Drop a blue circle in the comments if you're reclaiming your voice. And tell me, what truth are you ready to speak first? Your voice is not dangerous. Your silence has just been over-practiced. And we changed that today. So I hope you got a lot out of this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.